today on Everyday Whiskey, we're doing Operation Budget Whiskey. Basically, what we did is we gave each other about $30 limit max to go pick up a bottle of something that we've never had before. So both bottles that I've never had this bottle. He's never had the bottle he has.
And we don't know what either of us bought at all.
No, we don't.
We're going to find out on camera.
Yeah, that was the other stipulation. We were not allowed to know what each other was going to bring. I do know he does not have a bourbon because this was going to be Operation Budget Bourbon.
It's a better name. It's a better name for the episode.
He kind of went rogue on me and did his own thing.
I've been on a bit of a scotch kick lately, so I got
that's all right.
$30 scotch.
And you're actually going to really find it hard to believe that I have never had the bottle that I selected. But trust me, I have never had this bottle.
I feel like you got something like super generic, generic.
It's very common, very generic.
It might still be considered like craft, but it's probably super generic.
Oh yeah. Anyway, let's get this started.
Welcome back to Everyday Whiskey, all you small batches and single barrels. So, welcome to another episode of Everyday Whiskey, and if you didn't know, that was my Tiger King bit. F you, Carol Baskin. But
I think we've all seen this by now. It's been flooding the nation.
Yeah.
What else have people been doing on quarantine?
It's taking the country on by surge. But if you don't know and haven't watched Tiger King, I just sounded like Herb the Perv and Family Guy. And if you don't know who Herb the Perv and Family Guy is, you're beat.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. You probably shouldn't be on our channel.
But as Mike,
I'm kidding. Stay.
No,
we like
please
you.
stay
We
and
love
watch.
you.
But as Mike stated, we both spent $30 on a bottle of whiskey. Neither of us know what Neither of us know what each other brought until right now. So.
Yep.
If you show me mine, I'll show you yours.
How am I going to show you yours if I'm showing yours mine?
Alright, just get your fucking bottle.
Alright. So today I brought Four Roses Bourbon, which is pretty generic, pretty standard. You can find it anywhere.
I'm impressed that...
Very common.
Yeah, you really went for
Believe
like straight up...
I've never had it.
That was the point of this. You've never had it, and
never
it's cheap.
Had it. It's
never
cheap,
had it and cheap.
And I never had it.
Alright,
you know what? It's not cheap. It's inexpensive.
Inexpensive.
Say,
Cheap would be
cheap
like
has a
sub
negative.
20.
Yeah, cheap has a negative connotation, and we're not here to
We'll
know
go
slander
cost
any
efficient.
names. Yes, cost efficient, inexpensive.
And I went at the top end of our budget, so this cost me $29.70.
Yeah, this was $21 for me.
I went with the classic Cutty Sark. And this is not the regular Cutty Sark. This is a Cutty Sark Prohibition. So this is, instead of it being 80 proof, this is 100 proof. There's going to be a little more flavor in this one, and it's more prone for a sipping scotch as opposed to the Cutty Sark, which their regular blended scotch, they advertise like Cutty Sark made for mixing. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
This
that's true.
I think you could mix this. Obviously, you can mix this, but by itself, I've had it by itself. I think it's a very good scotch. Already have a couple glasses poured for us here. Put this guy over here. So, gonna get in the Cutty Sark a little bit. I'm gonna hit the ground running here.
And when he says he's had it himself, he's had it earlier today. He's never had this before. This is still new to both.
I literally bought it.
I
bought it the other day. I tried it just to see if I liked it, so I wouldn't make a face on the show that was like, "Oh, it's great! It's great! I love it."
Yeah, we don't want to do too much negative stuff.
Yeah,
we don't want people seeing this and like reaming us out, but it's gonna happen.
I like the Cutty Sark business model. So Cutty Sark, founded in 1923. It's named after. It's actually aimed after a ship called Cutty Sark. It's an old But this is the Cutty Sark Prohibition, which came out 80 years after the founding, so we'll just go with turn of the century.
Yes, turn of the century.
So, this is a blended scotch, and I love blended scotches because you don't have to pay the retail tag of a single malt price, which I have plenty of good single malt scotches, and I love all of them. But I really do appreciate a good blended scotch because basically, kind of how small batches are made in the U.S., where they pull from a bunch of different batches to create consistency and create more quantity. That's what blended scotch is. It's more cost efficient for distilleries, and they pull from every region all these taste profiles they want to make their final product. And that's what Cutty Sark is. This is a Cutty Sark Prohibition, and it is dedicated to Captain Bill McCoy. Oh. So if you've heard of the real McCoy rum, right?
Yes.
So Bill McCoy was a rum runner in the 20s during Prohibition. Obviously, there's no point to be a rum runner prior to 1920 or post 1930.
Nope.
Because what happened in the 20s was Prohibition.
Yep.
You know, big sad face, whatever.
No.
All right, but he was more known for running rum. But what people didn't know is he actually ran Cutty Sark into New Jersey, New York, Connecticut.
That's cool.
Pretty much the Eastern Seaboard. He ran in Scotch, and
that's kind of like Canadian Club. Canadian Club was really, really popular too back in the day, especially in the 20s. I mean, if anyone's ever watched Boardwalk Empire, you see that bottle everywhere.
And Bill McCoy's in All right, so Bill McCoy is in Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah,
He's
that's
a character.
what they're running. They're running, and you know what? I like that, and because we're both big history buffs, so that's cool. So some of these bottles, especially the history on this, what you're going to learn about, is really cool.
Yeah.
It appeals to us. A lot of times we buy stuff just for its history. You're telling me I have a bottle of something that was ran here illegally.
And that's what this is dedicated.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna buy it just because I think that's really cool.
This
really
is like
interesting.
dedicated to everything cool about the 20s. This is dedicated to speakeasies, to rum runners, to moonshiners, to.
And as you guys know, we both have worked extensively in this industry, so we kind of love all that stuff. I think speakeasies are really cool. I think the history behind them. There's still some that are even active today as legal bars, but they still kept the motif of the speakeasy, which I'd love to get
nuances
to a few
of
those.
the speakeasy. But
it's just something cool out of our history. So
getting some technical notes, really simple. So 50% alcohol, 100 proof. It's actually finished it's actually aged in American sherry barrels, which is really cool because I don't know any other Scotch that is aged in American sherry barrels. It's usually ex-bourbon casks, which are American
I can't
oak.
think of any off the top of my head. If you guys know any, drop them below. But I can't think of.
But this definitely gives it like a really good like toffee and pepper taste to it. You really get pepper out of this. So instead of me talking about how this tastes, we should probably
taste how it tastes.
Just taste how it tastes.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's a really good noise. Ready? Gotta do it again.
That was good. Oh god. We're gonna break them.
Okay, we're gonna break the glass. Don't you literally smell toffee? You smell toffee on the nose.
Butterscotch
and toffee, dude. Like it's strong. I love the nose on this. It smells so good.
That's like your grandma's pocket candy.
These were those hard candies that sat on the table, and you literally saw the dust collect every time you went in the house.
Werther's original.
Werther's.
Butterscotch and caramel and all that good stuff.
Oh, disclaimer: not sponsored by either bottle, Four Roses or Cuddy Sark.
Or Werther's.
Or Werther's. Or Heritage Brown Sugar Bourbon. Ooh. You definitely get the alcohol stringency because it is 100 proof. But you get pepper, and then you get that malted barley, like it kind of develops at the end.
I get a little essence of smoke or peat, I should say.
You ready for this? The water is a trick with this one. So
there's a little peat in there, which as you guys know, I love because I
slight smoke. It's not that smoky. I don't think it's.
It's not that smoky, but
it's got a slight nuance of smoke to it. So
oh wow, the nose completely changed.
Yeah, the nose.
No, it's gone. The nose is just like invisible now.
It's very. You get the butterscotch, but it's like in the background. It's like
it is in the back.
It's
not up front.
It's like the one dude at the back of the line of the club is just screaming like "Cock-a-doodle!" Like, it's just you can't hear it.
That changed a lot. Let's see how the taste changes.
Completely mellowed out, entirely mellowed out.
Wow.
No burn, no Scottish hug.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like for $30, this is
great.
great.
What you did there, Scottish hug instead of Kentucky hug. That's
or bagpipe slap.
Slap the bag.
You're gonna slap the bag. Does France yet?
Wow, it's like a completely different.
Yeah, that's a legit sipping Scotch. And the one thing, all right. So cool note, if you're a Scotch person watching this. Cuddy Sark was originally made at Glenrothes Distillery in Speyside, so this is considered, and they still have blends from Speyside in this. It's considered a lunchtime Scotch, and this is a sessionable.
Lunch.
Yeah, exactly. I like Scotch and breakfast.
Yeah.
Why
not?
But this is a sessionable Scotch. That's what this is.
Very sessionable.
It's so easy to drink. I love the flavor. You get online, if you Google this bottle, they literally say cracked pepper and toffee, and you get cracked pepper and toffee.
Like this is the first time I've ever actually been able to pinpoint all those profiles that some may list in their descriptions, and you really can in this. It's pepper and toffee for sure.
All right, Chan, what did you bring?
Okay, so I brought. Sorry, we just washed these glasses, so I want to make sure.
You gotta do the camera
dry.
Just gotta do it.
Yeah, there you go. Bless the camera. All right. We're gonna add water regardless, but I want to have this without.
Freaking cut.
There you go.
Damn it.
All right. So what I brought is what everyone has probably seen and know of is Four Roses bourbon. I, believe it or not, have never actually had this bottle. Neither have you.
I haven't either.
A large part of that reason why I've never had this is because when I was inexperienced and didn't know much, it was, the label was different. It was screw top. It just looked like
It looked cheap.
cheap
The old label,
bottle.
I did not like. The new package,
I love
way better.
this new package. This is
way better.
awesome. I mean, this looks high end right now. Maybe not high end, but this looks like fancy. I like this. So yeah, that's why I've never had it. I always kind of gave it a negative shtick, even though I shouldn't have. I should not have judged the book before I read, or just from reading the
I should have
cover
not.
or whatever.
I don't judge books before I smell covers.
Yeah, exactly. I never should have, because it's not fair. We want to give it everything a fair choice or chance, so that's what we're gonna do here. So a little bit of history. Four Roses uses 10 distinct recipes in their bourbon line. So I'm gonna break that down for you. Basically, one of those they use for their single barrel, which that one it's gonna change.
I love the
everything
single barrel.
changes,
Such a good bourbon. The single barrel is a standard to follow.
They use the same recipe. 4 of those they use for the small batch, which I have not had. So I've had the single, never had the small batch. 6 out of those 10 they use for a non-chill filtered small batch, which I have never had. And then finally, 10 out of 10 they use for their regular table bourbon, as we like to say, or actually
old man. I like old man whiskey.
This
I think
really
that's
is
an
old man
whiskey.
bourbon, or an old man whiskey.
I like that.
You could definitely go to your grandfather's house and probably find this buried in a cabinet somewhere. It's been around for a long time, and
that's like an industry
bourbon.
Standard bourbon.
It is.
So
let's pour it out and I'll keep doing some more history.
We'll get into this.
So basically, like I said earlier, I really like the history behind this. It's kind of cool how they got their name. So they've been around since 1888, and as we all know, things were a little bit different back then. Everyone did things a little different. So.
Yeah, you could slaughter your enemy in the street and get away with it.
Exactly. So Paul Jones Jr., who was the founder, had a little crush on one of these girls, I guess, who lived in the same town or however it operated back then, village, whatever.
The way this smells.
And he proposed a courtship to her, which was assuming he wanted to be in a relationship with her. So the courtship proposal was that if she replies yes to the...
Is it I'll show you mine if I show you yours?
No, it's not I'll show you mine if I show you yours. I'm sure that happened at one point, but not here. So basically the stipulation of the courtship was if she were to answer yes, she was not to write him back in a letter. She was to attend the grand ball, as they call it, wearing her dress with a corsage of roses on it, and that would indicate a yes, and he knew he has
a lot of work for it.
It is, but you know what? They did things different. Like you said, you could duel people back then and legally murder someone. Like, you can't do that now.
Over a woman.
So anyway, sure enough, he sent the proposal of the courtship. Fast forward till whenever the grand ball was. The grand ball arrives. He's standing there waiting for her, and next thing you know, she rolls in, and what's on her dress? A corsage of 4 roses. And from there on out, when he started getting into the bourbon game, he decided to name it after that little, shtick he had with her, and he named it 4 Roses. Sticks. So I think that's really cool. It's a very unique history for sure.
Oh yeah, I think it's cool. It goes with the legacy of like founders of distilleries naming it after like their muse. Their reason for doing it, like Maker's Mark. Mm-hmm. So Maker's Mark, I went there in October.
Yeah.
Last October. Last October. Yeah. And basically what he did is his wife was the main driver behind their business. It was her idea to dip the bottles in the red wax so they would stand out on the shelf. Mm-hmm. There was literally a picture of her, a portrait, staring at the whole assembly line, which was terrifying.
That's gotta be terrifying.
She was kind of a handsome woman.
Okay. But a handsome woman. We all know what that means, right?
Yeah. We can fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
But I think that's awesome. I think it's a cool lineage.
I think it is too, because it breaks off the path of naming it after your muse. Like, maybe your wife's name, your child's name, your name, your town's name. This one, it's like, you know what? I'm going to name it after this little courtship idea that I had. And I think that's kind of cool.
I think that's like a cool courtship thing too, though. Like,
that is.
That's a cool little like nuance to that.
It's got to be very suspenseful, though. I mean, we're used to nowadays just sending a text, "Hey, you want to go out?"
That's like the equivalent of a risky text now. It's just like you're just like,
yeah. This guy had to like send the letter via snail mail, wait for her to get the letter, then wait for the ball.
And
then,
I hope she showed up at the ball.
Yeah, and hope she not only showed up but showed up wearing roses on her thing. So like that would give
What do
me
you do if
anxiety.
you? What
That
would
would
you
give me
like?
anxiety. I just want to know, yes or no. You want to go out with me? All right?
What's the game plan if she showed up and didn't have him on?
We wouldn't have 4 roses.
Like, what do you do? Just like, all right, I'm gonna head out.
Well, we'd have 4 roses, but maybe it'd be named like 6 stones, or I have no idea.
Right.
It wouldn't be 4 roses though.
Would you try your?
Yes,
am
let's try this.
I am impressed. So.
Oh my god, that nose.
Yeah, it smells like caramel and like corn.
Yeah, that is sweet.
It's like sweet caramel. And like a corn, like it smells like literally like a corn on the cob. It's good. You get a little bit of the kick in the chest, but for $22 you paid.
21 and change.
21
22 if
change.
you want to round
Yeah,
up.
that's great, and that's like
This is amazing.
for cocktails. This is perfect for drinking straight. You could do it.
If you're like me and you've never had this for whatever reason it may be, I highly, highly recommend you pick this up for what it costs because this is absolutely incredible. This is so smooth, a lot of flavor. You know, you get a lot of that sweetness, a lot of that oak, which we all know I like oak and smoke. You know, I keep
We're
saying
really gonna do the rhyming
oak and
thing
smoke,
again?
smoke and oak. That's what I like.
If we ever do merch, we're gonna have to put oak and smoke on a freaking shirt.
Smoke and oak. Yeah, we will. We will. All right. So now
A little bit of water.
let's put some water in it. See how it
So the nose isn't as sweet off the back. It definitely dulled it. You definitely get a little more alcohol
smells like
astringency. You get a little more ethanol alcohol on the nose.
The nose now smells like wood. Good wood, but wood.
Yeah, good wood.
I like it.
Good wood, home of the good wood. Man, take your order.
I like it. Let's see.
Definitely dulled it. I'm getting more like a very light, crisp, like oak on the taste.
We go from sweet and oaky to just straight oaky.
Yeah.
That's really all it's in
So it
here.
took the caramel out of the flavor. It
Yeah.
took that out.
So be prepared if you were to pour this on the rocks, and as that ice melts and the water diffuses into the bourbon,
It's definitely easier to
it's
drink.
gonna change the flavor a lot.
Yeah. I prefer it neat. I think it tastes
I
better
like it
neat.
neat better.
But if you're trying to just like had a bad day and you really want to tie one on, I
Yeah.
think you put it on the rocks, you're probably going to be able to kill half
Yeah.
the bottle.
You know, it'd be interesting to see though as how the flavor progressively changes as that water melts in. You know, this is kind of a direct shot.
We could give that a shot.
Water,
I would give that a shot for sure to see like what the change is.
Yeah,
Like, I like the little
every
experiment.
sip will probably be a little bit different, but because now we skipped just right to it. We put water directly in it, but as that ice melts, you're gonna notice it's gonna go from a little sweet and oaky to definitely more woodsy and just straight oak flavor, which is not bad by any means. Again, like I said, I like that, so
Yeah.
I think that's good
No, this is definitely a good budget whiskey.
by far.
Which is what the point of this whole
By
episode
far.
is to find a good budget whiskey, and I think both of us did that. But since we've both tried each other's whiskeys, who won?
Oh man,
Come on, because that's the point of this. Is like we're not just gonna end this with like, oh, we like both of them.
I know.
Everyone's a winner here. Here's your participation trophy. No, who won?
All right, let me.
The nose on this was way better than that.
I liked the nose on that.
The flavor on that had more flavor, but I
Yes.
think if I was gonna kick back and drink something, not just because I brought this, but if I'm gonna kick back and drink something, I might go with that.
You thinking that?
I think that's got more. I think the nose is so freaking good on this. I want to smell that all day. And I think when you add water to this, it becomes so easy to drink, and the pepper note comes out so much more that I'm leaning here.
See, this is hard for me because I genuinely think both of them are excellent. And you know what? If you were to bring them both out to me and say, hey, man, we're going to hang out, maybe do some grilling, just have a drink, and you put both these and told me to choose one,
It's gonna be hard
we'd be
to
there
choose.
for a while.
All right, so it sounds like we're at a stalemate here.
I think it is. It's just going to be cut even, but
Hey,
you know
Steve.
what?
Want to be a tiebreaker here?
Yeah, want to be a guest appearance?
A little sip of
You know
both.
what? I'm inclined to say the Four Roses, again, not because I brought it, but just because when it comes to scotch,
Come here.
I really do prefer a lot of peat. And I'm talking a lot. I like
You
it
need
to
to
taste
say
like a
who
campfire.
brought the better budget whiskey to the show. Oh, come on the camera. Say hi, Steve.
Yeah, come on, Steve, get on here.
Hey guys,
There you
how you doing?
Steve's gonna be our tiebreaker. He's
We
he
should have
enjoys his
We should have
his
done like a
liquor
better
as
intro
well.
for you, but
Yeah, that's alright.
all right. So you're gonna try both.
Yeah, we need a tiebreaker
Sneak
because
in
we
here.
both like our own a lot.
So which ones we got here?
All right,
This is
so
the
that's the
roses.
Yep.
So that's the Cuddy Sark. That's the 4 Roses right here. So that's what I brought. That's what Chan brought.
Okay.
Good.
Roses here.
No, that's Cuddy. That's Scotch.
Yeah, that's Cuddy. Okay, he likes that. He gave it the nod. The
That was
nod
a good
of
head.
approval.
That was a good head nod of approval.
Here,
Not
maybe
bad.
take a swig of water. Cleanse your palate a little. You know, you don't want to cross-contaminate.
No, sure. Whatever you say.
Exactly. I'm the expert. Not really, but I'm the expert. Yeah, there you go. Cleanse the palate. Maybe go have dinner, then come back. Try it. No, we don't have enough time for that.
Yeah, we're already at 20 minutes here, so probably have to wrap this up soon.
Ooh, that also got the nod.
I would say the Cuddy.
Oh,
Oh!
man. All right.
It's got a little bit more flavor.
There we
It
go.
does.
There we
that
go.
Cuddy is very complex.
Thank you, Steve.
That's
Thank
a
you,
very
tiebreaker.
complex bottle. And again, that's largely due to the fact that it's blended. So it's not, you know, there's going to be an interesting profile on that.
Yep. And that's the one thing that Scotch might like, where the flavors are sometimes pretty intricate with that.
Yeah, blendeds, they change a lot.
But to wrap this episode up, Cuddy Sark Prohibition for this between the two of these won the battle of the best budget whiskey.
Yes.
So
it did.
with that, as we end every episode, we want you guys to like the video. Obviously, we want you to subscribe to the Everyday Whiskey channel. We want you to subscribe to our Instagram.
Which is everyday_whiskey1.
Douche has every underscore whiskey and has 0
This guy's
posts.
still,
And then our Facebook
our
page.
Facebook, which is Everyday Whiskey. You can
Yeah, it's
find
just
that
Everyday
easy.
Whiskey.
Just type it in the search bar; it'll pop right up.
Yep, will be your first thing to find.
Yep.
So, I hope you guys have a great week, have a safe week, and cheers. Have a great one.